Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good. So guys, as we know, the WBO have ordered Terence Crawford to fight Shawn Porter in the next 30 days. And, you know, it's taken a storm. There's been a storm, you know, in the boxing world across forums and Instagram, etc. You know, for me, it's an opportunity for Terence Crawford to put down a marker. Put down, like, Terence Crawford's come out and just said that I've been begging for a fight against a top welterweight for years. And now let's see if Shawn Porter takes it. Let's see if Shawn Porter fights me. Now, Shawn Porter strikes me as a guy that he won't duck anyone. He'll fight, and I think he wants to fight Terence Crawford. Now, if the politics gets in the way, I don't know. Maybe that'll stop him. But Shawn Porter doesn't come across as a fighter to me that would duck and dodge anyone. I think he'd fight anyone. And that's just the kind of guy that Porter strikes me as. So there's no way Porter's ducking away from this fight. There's no way Porter's going to be running away from this fight, because Porter, to me, he's just a complete warrior. You know, he's just a complete warrior, and he's not running away from this. So I think you've got two guys. One guy that wants to prove himself against one of the top welterweights, and one guy that wants to get back to the top of the welterweight division by winning or becoming world champion again. A lot of people think that Shawn Porter won't become world champion again. A lot of people think Shawn Porter now is kind of on the slide a little. He's still good, but on the slide in the sense that he's not going to become a champion again. He's had his day in the sun. He managed to become champion twice. He beat Devin Alexander for the welterweight title back in the day. Then he beat Danny Garcia. I believe that was for the vacant belt, I believe. So yeah, he's won the championship twice, and he's got an opportunity. He's got an opportunity to beat Terence Crawford and become a WBO champion. I'm not sure he's ever been a WBO champion, so it's an opportunity for him to become a WBO champion. I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's a great fight, and it's a fight that must happen for the fans. And it's finally a fight that Terence Crawford, you know, people... Listen, all I'll say to the boxing fans is this. Please give Terence Crawford his credit if he was to beat Shawn Porter. Please give Terence Crawford his credit, because I don't want to hear after that, well, Shawn Porter's been beat before, Shawn Porter's old, or Shawn Porter's washed up, or Shawn Porter's this and that and the other. Just give Terence Crawford his credit, because Terence Crawford has had a lot of stick over the years, right? And everybody now is saying, oh, if he fights this guy, Porter's an elite welterweight, this, that, and the other. Don't then, if he beats him, then, you know, turn around and say, oh, well, Porter wasn't that good, and Porter's not this, he's fought nobody. Because this will end he's fought nobody claim, especially at welterweight. This would end all of that. After this, nobody can say that Terence Crawford has fought nobody at welterweight, or his resume is weak at welterweight. Terence Crawford said that he's been looking for a challenge, begging for a challenge for years. And this, he will show to the world why he's pound for pound best. Would you guys, if he puts in... Here's the thing. Terence Crawford has an opportunity here, because Shawn Porter's never been beat soundly by anybody. Everybody that's fought him always struggled against him, and all the fights were very close. He's never lost by a wide margin. He's never lost. He's never been beat up or dominated by anybody, because Porter has that rough and tough style. He's just hard to dominate. Terence Crawford, as I said to you, he could separate himself from his competition by if he dominates Shawn Porter and stops him. I think if he can stop him, I think that would be some statement. I think if Terence Crawford can stop Shawn Porter, that would be a serious statement made. And in terms of him being pound for pound, he would definitely... Listen, you can't go ahead of Canelo. Going ahead of Canelo he has to beat Spence, and he has to do a lot more. But he would definitely solidify his position at number 2, because then when you look at it, he's been undisputed at 140. 135 he was a champion, and now he was a champion at 147, but now he would have fought in a top welterweight, in people's eyes, a top 5 welterweight. So then all of that argument about him not fighting a top welterweight is gone down the wayside. So you can no longer bring up that argument about his resume and he's not fought anybody because he's beat Shawn Porter. If he beats Shawn Porter, and if he does it in emphatic fashion and beats him down and stops him, then nobody's been able to do that. So Terence Crawford will be separating himself from his competition. This is why this fight is so great for Terence Crawford. This is why Terence Crawford can really cement himself as a top fighter by beating Shawn Porter. Because let's be honest, everybody thinks this is going to be his hardest fight. At welterweight especially. See, I don't want to go down in the other weight classes, because I would say he's fought guys that were more formidable than Shawn Porter in their weight class. Like Gamboa, I believe Gamboa at 135 at that point when Crawford fought him was far more formidable than Shawn Porter has been at welterweight. You can make an argument Victor Postal, at 140 was undefeated. He was a top fighter, seen as one of the best 140 pounders. And Terence Crawford completely dominated him. So again, you can make an argument that he's fought better fighters in the lower weight classes at their weight classes. But Porter would be the best welterweight that he would have fought as of right now. Now, of course, Khan and Brook were good welterweight fighters in their prime, but they weren't in their prime. So they were just names that he had on his resume. But at that point, they weren't top fighters at that point when he fought them. So they were past their best. So Shawn Porter, for me, would be the best welterweight that he's going to fight. Right, in the welterweight division, the resume that he's got in the welterweight division, that would be the best guy that he's going to get in the ring with. So as far as I'm concerned, that would, and most importantly, he's a top welterweight in America. So a lot of the Americans know him and they know who he is. So that will help his profile. And if he can put in a dominating performance, that will get people to stand up and give him credit. I think there'll still be people out there not giving him credit, but I think Terence Crawford will win a lot of the fans over if he's able to put in an emphatic performance. And like I said, if he's able to stop Shawn Porter. So Terence Crawford has an opportunity to really separate himself from his competition. I keep saying it. And he's right about saying that he wants to show. Listen, Terence Crawford, I've always said that I feel Terence Crawford wants to fight the best. I think he was being treated harsh by the fans that were saying Terence Crawford doesn't want to fight the best. Terence Crawford's avoiding the best. I never believed it. I never believed that was the case. I always felt Terence Crawford wanted to prove he's the best welterweight. He's wanted to prove that he wants to fight the best. But unfortunately, it seems to me that it's just for whatever reasons, the fights just didn't happen. But now the WBO have forced... See, now, here's the thing. The proof would be in the pudding. Because if Terence Crawford doesn't want to fight Shawn Porter, he will vacate his WBO belt. If Terence Crawford wants to fight Shawn Porter, he won't. And they'll just go to purse bids if ESPN don't make a deal. And if Shawn Porter don't want it, then Shawn Porter will back out. So at the end of the day, the proof will be in the pudding from this move. Unless Terence Crawford takes another fight, which again would be a crazy move. So if I was Terence Crawford and his team, I'd just tell him, let's hold tight. Let's hold tight. Let's hold tight and let's just go to purse bids. If Bob Arum doesn't want to do the fight because it's too expensive, let the fight go to purse bids. Let the fight go to purse bids. And then, Terence Crawford wins if the fight goes to purse bids anyway. If it goes to purse bids, Terence Crawford's a winner, because here's the thing. Terence Crawford, there's going to be other broadcasters out there looking to bid for that fight, because Crawford Porter's a big fight. There's going to be other broadcasters out there looking to bid, and they're going to be bidding big. Right? So the chances are there's going to be someone coming in with huge money, and Crawford was going to get the lion's share. I think he gets 60 or 70% according to WBO rules. And in that case, Crawford will get 70% of the money, of the purse bid. So he's in a great place. Crawford is in a great place if it does go to purse bids, because he doesn't care what broadcast is on. He cares about what he gets paid. And I know there'll be somebody that goes and bids big for that fight. So if Top Rank are not willing to, if basically they can't reach a deal, right? They can't reach a deal, then they're going to allow it to go to purse bids. And I personally think it probably will go to purse bids. Unless Arum, pulls his finger out and says, you know what, I'm going to try making this fight, be serious and make this fight. But I just don't know whether the fight, from a numbers point of view, does big numbers for ESPN. So are they going to be willing to put up the money? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Whereas someone else like DAZN or someone else like PBC might be willing to put up the money. Or Thriller might be willing to put up the money. So Bob Arum might allow it to go to purse bids because on the basis that he probably thinks that someone's going to bid big, and that'll mean, that I think obviously Crawford would have to give a cut to Bob Arum, something like that. I think it'll be something like that. But whatever, the main thing is we don't care about any of that. We just care about the fight happening, and we want a cracking fight. So hopefully the fight happens. Hopefully this all goes down and we get to see Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter, because it's a fight that I've wanted to see. I just wanted to see Terence Crawford fight somebody where he can get some credit if he wins, because I feel like the recent guys he's been fighting, he was never going to get credit. He was only going to get discredited if he had looked bad or he got wobbled, or he would have got a lot of hate. But in this fight, if he was to dominate him, he will get the credit by majority of the boxing fans, and no one will be able to use that excuse he's fought nobody or he's not been in. Like, you can't say that anymore, especially if he dominates Porter, because some people felt that Porter beat Spence. I didn't, but some people felt that Porter deserved a draw or beat Spence. A lot of people definitely said that they thought it was a draw. So Porter is a great fighter. So if Terence Crawford, like I said, can dominate him and stop him. I thought Spence would dominate Porter, but he couldn't. That was a really tough fight for Spence. But Crawford, if he can dominate him, he puts himself on another level. But I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think Terence Crawford wins by knockout? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.